Hi, it's Angela Torville and Mike Torville, your hosts of Get Moving, the real estate roadmap with the at-home team, where we're going to provide you with the education, tools, and unfiltered talk to keep you in the driver's seat. Thanks for joining. Welcome back to Get Moving. I'm Angela Torville, your host, and co-host Michael Torville. And today we have a special guest, Chris Martin from the Hamre Martin Team with Real Brokerage right over here in Agawam, Massachusetts. Good morning, boys.
Morning.
Good morning again.
Chris, thank you so much for being on our show today. We're really excited to have you on here. We have some cool stuff going on in the community with you and some of the adventures you're attached to.
Oh, thank you both for having me. This is exciting. Can't wait to talk about it with you.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris. How long have you been a real estate agent?
I've been an agent now for over 10 years. I've been a team lead with my partner, Jared Hamre, for over 8 now. So we've been slowly but surely been growing our team and trying to branch out into different markets, into Massachusetts and Connecticut. So just enjoying that process and training our team members. So it's been a great journey.
I mean, I've met your team, pretty humble, really awesome people, like down to earth, but business minded, which is important when you're dealing with consumers and supporting them through a real estate transaction. So it's not always, having a huge team, it's who you have on it. And I think you guys have done a good job stacking your team with the right niches and people for our community.
Thank you. Yeah, we're just goal oriented towards helping the community and the members in it, with all the different processes, not just with real estate, but just with their personal journeys. And we have great team culture. I know probably everybody says that, but we just have a really good time doing what we do. And I think we do it really well.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, hey, Chris, what got you started? I was interested. What get you started in real estate?
It's kind of a cool story. I'm in the military. I'm in the Army, so I was stationed down in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and
Are you still in? You're still in the Army?
I'm in the reserves now.
Okay, good.
I came back up here and moved into reserves maybe about a decade ago. So that's part of the real estate journey. I was assigned to rent a roommate down in Fort Campbell, and it was 1950s barracks, full of black mold and no heating, and just we're like, well, we're not going to want to stay here too long. So my roommate out of California, me from Massachusetts, we didn't know each other, but we clicked immediately. Decided to, we got an apartment, and then we're like, okay, we're still getting along pretty well. And my roommate Dustin, who's still my business partner today, was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go out there and buy a house." And I watched him do it and saw how easy that was. I was like, "Oh, okay, then I'm gonna buy a house too." And now we had two
Wait,
houses.
I got to interrupt you. How easy that was. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
this was 2008 or nine. So
Okay.
Okay.
prices of homes at the time were, even for privates like us, they were pretty achievable. Um, so once we had our first couple, we realized again just like how much we enjoyed the process and what we could actually do with real estate. So we started thinking about how can we invest? How can we grow this? And so we started buying up additional properties to start building a portfolio. So over time, Dustin moved to Memphis to go to college, and he started acquiring properties out there. I started joining in on that. I eventually came back to Massachusetts and started investing up here. And we both realized, like, well, we know what to do now. We don't need to hire agents anymore. So I got licensed. I started running the investments with Dustin. And then at that time up here, my friends, my family, they're starting to look for their first homes of that time period. And like, oh, I can actually help them with that too. So that kind of snowballed into that. And then it's just been a continuous process of being a real estate agent, which was never my intention.
So you started off as an investor in properties and trying to buy properties.
Just saw the value in it and just how it could
Yeah.
really help grow what you're trying to do.
So do you still own investment properties?
I do, yes. They're sprinkled throughout the South, and places kind of near Army installations, big businesses like Boeing and things like that. We kind of look for mid-tier size cities that have growth potential. And then we tried to do 2, 3, 4 families, and now we're trying to stack into bigger units now. So this has been over the course of 15 years now, and they've been, Dustin's one of my best friends, still my business partner now. We have families, so it's been cool to see that growth.
Wow. Well, that's great because, you certainly have a lot of perspectives here. Being a veteran, actually, you're still active, right?
Yeah.
And an investor. When you speak with people, if you speak with veterans and you speak with investors, from real experience exactly what they're going through, exactly how to help them. And I think that gives you great insight more than most, right?
I think you both can relate to that, right? Especially with the VA loan. The
Mhm.
the the beauty of that can be it's not just obviously to help someone get their primary, which is obviously a great thing anyway, but then how you actually use that as an investment tool as
Right.
well. I know a lot of active duty veterans that have maybe 4 or 5 properties by the time they get done with their career, and then they're all set and they're still in their late 30s, early 40s, ready for that next stage of their life.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Wow.
Yeah, it's a cool strategy. I've had some clients, do that over time too and accumulate. And when I seen that, when my business, when I noticed that's holy smokes, that's what they're doing. This is genius, because, investor financing is a little bit tougher than VA financing when we're looking at, costs and things. So it's such a cool strategy.
Oh yeah.
Let's go back, Chris, to a comment you made. And I'm sorry, I can't let this go. I'm sorry, I can't let this go because it stuck with me when you said, looked at what my roommate started to buy a property, then I bought a property, and I saw how easy it was. I said, I don't know why I can't let that go. But here's the thing. Are all transactions that easy?
Oh no, gosh, Dustin and I have been through the ringer, probably like any investor, any client, with real estate. I think we just saw the value and the potential of it. And for
Yeah.
our first time home buying process, I guess we should know better, to know, right, what the pitfalls of things could be. It was straightforward single family homes we each purchased. And I think that kind of let us believe like, oh, this will all be, all be this
Yeah.
easy. So,
Has it been easy ever since?
no, no, it's been a roller coaster ride. So I guess I should probably clarify that, but it's been an enjoyable ride for the most part.
That's good though, because you're right. But that's really to your with your experience, about those roller coaster rides. You know what your clients can expect. You know how to set the right expectations to say, here's what might happen. Here's what you may encounter. Here's what we need to prepare for, right? And having been through it all yourself, you speak to that directly. And I don't know how many properties you own or how many transactions you've personally been involved with, aside from the ones you sell. But there's all kinds of things that I think, like Angela, like yourself, that a person with experience just knows how to navigate through those challenges. And I think that's really important for people like both of you in the business to be able to get through, because it's rare that a transaction just goes smooth as ice, right?
True.
Yes. So you both know how to navigate all those challenges, and that's really credit. Yeah.
It's almost like the more roller coasters you live on, the longer that goes, those down, pitfalls, the less it happens in your future career, right?
Exactly.
So if you look at it, right, that challenge actually is growth. You're learning, and now you can, take that over to the next one and just keep building that empire and, toolbox, really, right? We like to build all the tools. So full time, and the more trouble you have, the better you're going to get. So don't let it keep you down if you're a realtor or a lender listening right now. Don't worry, the challenge is growth, guys.
Or a borrower or a buyer.
Or a borrower.
Right.
Don't give up.
They're the ones that have been going through it.
Oh my
for
God,
sure, the last few years.
You're in good hands. We got you covered.
Yeah. We've already probably been there once or twice. I love that. I love that story about you, Chris. I didn't know that about you, actually. I had no idea that you started building this portfolio and utilizing that VA benefit to get you started.
Well, Dustin and I were, again, just privates in the military, and they don't make a lot of money. So we were flipping cars. We were doing whatever we could when we were starting just to make some extra money, and then again, just that led into real estate could actually accelerate all those processes, right? I just see real estate is the one thing I think that can really help anybody. So
yeah, and it's a long-term gain, right? These aren't things that are happening in 1 year and flipping over to the next property, but you bought in a market that everyone wishes they bought in at this point in the world.
Lucky, yeah. The luck was definitely a part of it too. We just happened to be of that age when the market had just finished crashing, really, right? So we were able
Yeah.
to get these properties at valuations that we haven't seen since, right? Everything is kind of twofold, threefold since that time.
But it's just one
And
little
right
point
now,
on like people try to time the market. We
Hmm.
weren't timing the market for a crash. You just
No,
happen to be ready
right.
personally during that time, right? So just because people are trying to time the market right now with these rates up, down, values softening, not different parts of the country. We have buyer markets, seller markets. It's just so wild right now. Everything's,
Hmm.
I feel like when things get wild like that in the industry, it's because it's leveling out. It will get there. But timing the market is like the most difficult thing. So my advice is always time yourself, time your goals, and that's the time, right? So, but
Absolutely.
but lucky for you, you know, your timing was right after the crash. That's
well,
beautiful.
here's another thing. This is going to seem a little funny, but you can time it because you've been in the business for a while, and you can say, "I'm going to wait for this property. I'm going to look at it," because you know you've been through it. But you can't time your circumstances. Meaning,
Yeah.
if you're young, you just get married, you're starting a family, you want to start buying a house. You're 25, 26 years old, 28 years old. You're 28 when you're 28. You're looking for your house when it's happening. You're not saying, well, let's just put this off for a couple of years till the market changes. your, your timing
Waiting
is
for
when
those
it is,
rates.
when it's high or low. And so you have to say, okay, yeah, the market's high. It's a little challenging. The rates are high, but now is when I need to look for a home for my family. I don't have the luxury of waiting until the market softens or if something else changes. Now is when I need a home for my family. Today is when I need to sell my house. Now is when I need to relocate. It's always the now. And if that's the case, you have to say, okay, here's where we're at, right?
Hmm.
And you guide people through that. They don't have the luxury typically. If people are looking, they're looking for a reason, and the timing is right for them, regardless of the market, right?
Agreed.
And so I think that's the thing. You wish you had the conveniences. Let me just put my life on pause until the market changes. That's not going to happen. But you have to guide people through the tough times of the high rates or the high pricing, right? And say, look, at
Absolutely.
understanding, but let's plan not just for today. And I know Angela's very good at this too. Let's
Hmm.
plan for what this might look like 5 years from now. What are your strategies now? If you buy this house, are you thinking of expanding or getting a bigger house in 5 to 10 years? And if that's the case, what type of program do you get into with that in mind? In other words, or you say, no, this is a house I want to retire in 25 years. Well, that might be a different strategy, right?
Right.
Yep. And so I think you're working with your work. By the way, you're all Western Mass. What states are you licensed in?
Western Mass, Northern Connecticut. We are pushing out into Central Mass and probably beyond Hartford. We're pushing into New Haven. So just trying to cover decent sized swaths of the two states. Eventually, we'll get into Florida and New York. Those are our next target states, and maybe Rhode Island, just because it's just so close. So
Yeah, it's
I
our
think that'll
neighbor.
be enough for now.
Yeah. So all
Well,
through
the
Western Mass.
difference
Okay.
between you being licensed in those states and myself is you have to actually be there sometimes. I don't have to,
Of
right?
course.
So you got to consider that when you're getting your licensing,
Yeah. Yeah.
in your role, on someone's team.
And are you working with primarily first-time buyers, investment buyers, or are it pretty much across the board?
Things across the board, right? I think we're just trying to help whoever we can, how we can. We meet them where they are. So if you're a first time home buyer, great. We know great people,
Mhm.
lenders, obviously like Angela that can help with that process. Obviously I work with a lot of investors just because hopefully I can share some of my experiences with them. And then of course from the military aspect, yeah, absolutely with some military buyers and sellers, just because we can navigate those waters together.
Mhm. And with in your community, you're involved with the Veterans Administration. You've been involved with veterans a lot, or do you work with more veterans than, or is it pretty much the same?
It's a nice mix of
Okay.
everybody. I
Okay.
do obviously have a soft spot for fellow veterans because honestly, they don't always know about the programs and things that are accessible to them. So it's great to be able to share those with them. A lot of people get out and they're like, "What do we do now?" The military does try to go put us through seminars and classes before we exit. into the civilian world. But it's sometimes just so overwhelming that you're just like, okay, can I just go? I just want to get out, right? You're just focused on
Yeah.
just enjoying, wearing clothes and growing a beard out, all those
Yeah.
things. And you're not caring about, oh, I need to go talk to the VSO at my local town to figure out what resources are available to me, right? You think about that a month later, you're like, oh gosh, what do I do now? So,
Right, right. And it's almost like when people get out of a first time home buyer course, that's what I'm
mm.
hearing when you're describing that. Like they're more confused than they went in when they went in. Um, but yeah, I love that. Also, Chris, why we had you on today is you do so much more than just real estate. You know, so tell us a little bit about maybe something you got working up right now in the month of March.
Oh yeah, thank you for mentioning that. So right now I'm the president of Suit Up Springfield. It's a nonprofit in the Springfield area, and what we
Just
do,
excuse me, sorry. It's called Suit Up Springfield.
yes, Suit Up
Okay.
Springfield.
Suit Up Springfield. All right.
Yeah, and so we serve the local community by providing free professional attire to anyone who needs it. Um, and it's also for any other big events. If someone has a wedding or a funeral or prom, right, we're able to source out the appropriate attire for them, get it to them for free, and make sure that they're able to lead into that event with confidence and just smile on their face. I think it's a really rewarding thing for them as well, right? They come in obviously in their regular clothes, and then you see their body posture just shift when they put on that suit. You have them face the mirror, the smile. It's even in their voice, right? It's a stronger voice, the
Wow.
handshakes, everything. So I know clothes don't make a person, but definitely can at least help you grow in your confidence a little bit. So if we can provide that, that's what we're looking to do.
Well, that's great. So you talked about trying clothes on in front of a mirror. So you have a physical location where this
We
happens. Yeah.
Yes, we have a storefront. We're right downtown Springfield. We're 139 State Street, right across from the Mass Mutual Center.
Okay.
Um, we have open hours every Friday and Saturday, 10 to 2 on Friday, and then 10 to 12:30 on Saturday. And then we can do by appointments too, if someone obviously can't make those times. We're a nonprofit, so we do have limited hours right now.
So how does this work? It's nonprofit. When somebody needs clothes, they go in and they purchase the clothes?
So how we source it is that we do clothing drives. Angela is actually helping us out on that front by hosting a donation box at our office in Long Meadow. Um, so that's one way. We have boxes spread out throughout the surrounding towns in Springfield area. We just do call to actions, whether through social media or through our networks as well for either gently used professional clothing, or we actually work with local stores and even big box brands. We actually have a really good connection with Brooks Brothers, who have been amazing. They give us free new suits. So we're able to then just pass those on to those who need in the community. So, I mean, gosh, Brooks Brothers is such a top tier clothing brand, so for them
Yeah,
to be able to,
that's
for us to
cool.
be able to provide that is such a cool thing.
Yeah. Wow.
You must have so many success stories.
Hmm.
I'm envisioning, I grew up in poverty myself. So when you were describing someone putting on a suit or a prom dress or something they knew they want, knowing that you can't just go get those clothes yourself and maybe have to miss someone's wedding or a prom or an award event that you worked hard for or you really want to be there for, to know that you have an outlet like this. I mean, it is life changing. And the people who
Mhm.
don't, have never been in poverty or had, $600 to go buy a suit or whatever, that it just, to me, that gave me goosebumps hearing you say, like, seeing their face, their demeanor, their handshake get stronger. Like, what an impact, right? And then I'm just thinking of those people who might be going for job interviews. This is going to
Mhm.
change their life. A simple outfit.
We
It's
work
amazing.
with I think it's over close to 40 local organizations, whether they're workforce developments, veteran groups, with the Hamden County Sheriff's Department for those, that are recently released, so all those target groups that you're mentioning, right, that we can really help boost back up as they're trying to get their footing in the community. So that's really who we're trying to help. So it doesn't have to be Springfield. You can come from Worcester, Boston, deep in Connecticut. As long as you can get to us, we'll take care of you. It's just the name sounds good, obviously. No.
So how does someone connect to the organization? How do they, I mean, is it just open door or how do you? They
Absolutely. I mean, the
definitely.
organizations are helpful in trying to obviously bring that demographic to us. We have a website, pseudospringfield.com. We're on the socials, of course. Yeah, we just try to be out in the community as well. We table at different events. Right now, Gary Rome has been super helpful. This is our third year now. We're doing a month-long clothing drive at two of his dealerships. So we have Gary Rome Hyundai in Holyoke, and then Gary Rome Kia in Enfield. And so all month long, not just for Suit Up Springfield, but for Dress for Success, they're collecting gently used or brand new professional clothing. And then we'll be able to bring those back to our storefronts, go through them, and make sure that we're getting out the best attire for our people.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we're collecting also at our local location for that event, 734 Longmeadow Street at the Brewer Young Mansion. So we'll put our contact information. I'm happy to collect if you're closer to me than, where Chris's locations are, Gary Rome. But yeah, we're here to do this because it's not just looking nice for a dinner. We take it just so for granted, and it is so impactful, and it could change families' lives, especially in this economy right now. I mean, people need a boost, even just consciously, right? Like just even their mental, if anything. But
Absolutely.
Chris, I'm interested. So if someone needs the service, because we're going to collect, it's going out to hundreds of people, definitely in just my world. But if someone needs the service, how do
Mhm.
they connect?
You can connect to us through our socials. Just send us a direct message. You can
Okay.
also go onto our website and you can send us a message there, which is typically probably the best way because I'll go to our store manager, Ron, who's the
Mhm.
one that sets up usually the appointments. So he'll know what the schedule looks like so he can obviously find the best time for that person to come in. And it's a full experience. It's not just like, oh, here's a suit for you. We're going to measure
Yeah.
you. We're going to find the right colors that fit your size and your skin tone and everything, right? It's not just a suit. We got shirts and ties and socks and shoes. So it's a full setup and you walk out with a full garment bag. So it's like you're going into a professional suit shop.
That's cool. That is
Yeah.
cool. Sometimes you might envision a Savers rack at your store, but to know you're
Mm,
walking in and getting like Brooks Brothers service, like that's pretty cool.
for sure.
Um, so there's no like requirement of the person coming to get the assistance. It's sort of like just if you need it, come, and that's okay.
Absolutely. We want
Yeah, I
accessible
love
to
this.
everybody. So we don't, if you, that's why we're here, right? Because a lot of people just can't. And then that's what, no judgment. We want to take care of you.
I
Have you,
love that.
have you
I
feeling
love
good.
that. As a lender, Mike, do you have something to say? I know I'm just taking over.
No, you just brought
Trying
back
to
a memory
see.
because Chris just brought back a memory of back in the '70s when I was in high school. We had to get our senior class pictures, and I at the time in the '70s, everybody dressed for they wore a tie for their school picture. Now it's just whatever. But at the time, it was important to dress for your thing. And I didn't have a suit, and nor did my dad because my dad was a machinist. He had no reason to wear a suit jacket. So my friend's dad had a jacket, a suit jacket that I borrowed for the picture. But remember, this is 1976, 77. It was a yellow plaid jacket. And I don't know what kind of funky tie I had, but it was, and so my school pictures that lives on forever is in this yellow plaid jacket that I borrowed from my dad, my friend's dad, and
Oh,
but
I
I
love
remember
that.
how important it was to say, "Oh yeah, I need a suit. Where can I get one? Otherwise, I'm going to look awful for the rest of my pictures that live on forever." And it, it fit.
You
But
stand out though, Mike.
it was.
I said that stands out though. Someone's gonna look at the yearbook. Oh, who's this guy?
It does. It does. I'll have to show you that picture later. It's
Yes,
pretty funny.
please.
But it's but you're talking about events, weddings, and awards. But I think going for a job, this could be the difference of getting a job and being able to
Yes.
present yourself and and that's truly life changing. You know. So I was thinking of all kinds of things when you're talking. I think it's a great thing. And before we get on, and Andrea, you asked me a quick question. I just interrupted and flowed through this nonsensical
We
stories
are
here.
who we are. We're both
But
Taurios. It's normal.
But I also have to ask you, Chris, just like I asked you about being a realtor, how did it start? How did this idea originate and who came up with the idea?
So Pseudo Springfield is now 11 years old. It started with the founder is Justin Roberts. He had this great idea and he was able to create this enormous groundswell of support for it. And our original store was off Worthington Street, so still downtown, just a few blocks over from where we are now. And that's where it began. I was still not even back yet from the military, so I came in probably halfway through. I've been the president maybe for 6, 7 years. It goes on so long I can't actually remember. One of my closest friends, Alfonso, he was the president at the time, and he was just kind of looking to move on into a different thing because he's, typical, just hardworking guy. He had too many things going on. He's like, Chris, there's this awesome thing that we're doing. Is this something that would interest you? I had just gotten back. I was looking to get back to the community. I had zero idea about the nonprofit world, but I was like, this is a really cool thing. Absolutely. Um, so it's been a fun ride because, again, I've had to navigate not knowing anything about the nonprofit world, which is completely different from the military world, which is different from the real estate world, right? But it's been such a beautiful thing because you meet so many incredible people in the nonprofit world, both obviously the people we serve and just all the people who are trying to help. And I think it's been such a blessing, to be a part of that. We've suited up since in this, beginning organization. Maybe I think we're a little over 5,000 people at this point, and it's growing fast now because we're finally reached a point where like organizational awareness has really grown. We've done a good job of really pushing it the last couple of years. So because we just want to make sure people know about us.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Wow. Good for you guys.
Yeah, it's a good
Getting your
benefit.
second location soon. Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, we've outgrown our space now.
Yeah.
We have so many people coming in to get suited up that we only have so many dressing rooms, right? So we're looking for a larger physical building. Our long-term goal is to have our own space because there won't be just a suit shop. We're gonna want to bring in a tailor, a barber, right? So we have that full service setup because the haircut is also a super important part of it. We have partnered with the New England Barber Academy in Springfield, off of Boston Road, and they provide free haircuts. So we do have that service as well for someone who needs to obviously get a trim or a beard trim. So, but again, we just want to put all those services under one roof. So that's our 2 to 5 year plan.
That's tremendous.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm so happy I found you, Chris. I know about this now. And it started, you didn't even tell me this was something you were involved in. And I just saw a social media post. And I was like, wait, what? Hold on. What is this? I didn't even know it was a thing. And we're so happy to help. And this is just, I can't stop smiling, because one thing I see a lot, I love how it's not this rigorous like screening process, because who has the hardest time? There's a lot of help for people who have nothing. There's no help for people who are in the middle. Maybe they got let go of a job, or their job is just not paying them enough and they have no work-life balance and it's mentally draining and they need to switch it up, but they don't have the money to go do something to transition. And they're making enough. They don't get benefits. They get nothing for free. And they can still come here, because they are struggling, and that class of people are struggling a lot right now. So this is just could be that tipping point for them, just having something, not necessarily the confidence behind what it provides, but being able to walk into a room and I guess confidently apply for a new job. I guess at that point it does become that, but
yeah,
it's just cool how an outfit can be so game changing for someone's life and family. It's awesome.
Yep. So it's suitupspringfield.com, correct?
That's correct.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where you can find us.
Make sure we remind people of that too.
Thank you.
Wow. So, so you're a realtor too. Did we talk about that?
That's my least probably interesting thing, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a great career like any other career, right? And it has its fun journeys, just as both of you know. But I think we do those things so we can contribute back in more meaningful ways as well, right? So just like you both do it too, So
yeah. So more to come. I think more layers to dig through with you, Chris, because I know there's even more behind this that you're in and done. And you're an interesting person to me, and I can't wait to dig through all the layers.
Thank you.
Really happy to have you on the call today, and just sort of spreading this. But I think we're definitely gonna have to do a take two with you at one point.
Yeah.
And get into a little bit of a different conversation, but we really wanted to highlight this amazing thing you guys are working on in the month of March to, fill up Gary Rome. Let's fill that up. Let's let nobody even see the cars in there, right? Let's
right?
get tons of clothes. So
That'd be a long
Um,
close.
again, I'm happy to collect. Text me, come to the mansion. Chris has a couple drop locations. Where were you collecting again, Chris?
The two Gary Rome dealerships, so the Gary
Yeah.
Rome Hyundai in Holyoke, and then Gary Rome Kia in Enfield.
Okay.
And obviously, you can always bring them to the storefront as well.
Perfect.
Okay. And how do people reach you, Chris, directly?
Oh, you can email or phone. I guess my phone number is 413-204-6524. And then my email is cmart, CMART, 2410 @gmail.com.
Okay. That's great to hear because if people want to talk to you, well, about real estate, about buying a home, finding out how you can help them, have questions. I know you'll be glad to help them and guide them through.
Appreciate
Also,
that, Mike.
Zoo of Springfield. And I know you're involved with a lot of other things too, but, as Angela said, we'll have to have you on again for a part two, right?
Yeah, I love talking with you guys. Thank you for this
Yeah.
opportunity. This
Sure.
really,
Yeah.
really
We'll
appreciate
just have
that.
to get this out. Now, this is ongoing. I know we have a container up in Long Meadow, but this is ongoing. And I think you're just, you're working with these companies. So we'll do this more than once. We're just going to have the box in there, but we'll do it a few times, Angela. This isn't a one and done, right?
This is easy. It's almost just
Oh,
like,
thanks,
just
guys.
call me if you want to drop something off, right?
Yeah,
And then we'll get it over to
exactly.
Chris and Ron. Well,
Yeah.
thanks again, Chris. Mike, thank you for being here today. I know you're not feeling great,
Yeah.
but we wanted to get this word out, within enough time for people to start digging out, doing that spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning. Here we go.
Doing that spring cleaning. Bring over those nice, gently used business attire, and we will. And I guess prom dresses, you said, and things like that too. Well, that's more dress for success on the woman's side.
Well, Just for Success can take those. I want to shout out then Second Time is a Charm. They're the ones that do the prom season for the dresses and everything like that. And they're
Okay.
located in the Palmer area. So
Okay.
they'll take those. We'll help with the suits, the tuxes and things like that for
Okay.
the teens and everything.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, let's get the word out, boys. Thank you both so much for starting your day with us and get moving.